effort, boys, come on!
A greatest memory would be captaining the Premiership in 2010-11. As I said, I've been lucky enough to play in three, but captaining the side and leading to victory was my favourite.
Yep, so it was 01-02. Half of the team were probably backing up from the season before under Andrew Headney. And yeah, we built up through it most of the year and then had a big day out at Heatherdale in the days where it was 120 overs a team. So you know, you weren't out there to bat a day, you were out there to bat a day and a half. So set a total of 217. I think we rolled them for about 160 odd.
Played in 3 premierships, 2 as a captain. In 91 and 92, we beat Blackburn South. In 98 and 99, we beat, can't remember, anyway, I'll tell you in a minute, remember that. And I won a premiership in 16-17 with some good lads in the first.
Bit of a wobble, we'd lost a couple of wickets. Your good self had strolled out there to the crease and basically was taking control and hitting it nicely. But up here on the hill here, Pete Smith was in my ear, a bit concerned that you were perhaps getting a head of steam up and you were going to play a rash shot, go a bit too hard too often. So he was in my ear, badgering, "Oh, got to take a glass of water, calming down. So I gave you a couple of, I think I gave you at least another over of this and that. And then thought, yeah, I've got to calm Pete down, go out there with a glass of water, and not that you needed it, but you know, just give you a mini time out to keep your head straight.
Okay.
You got the results, so it must have worked.
Well, as many people already know, the club was going through some challenges. At the beginning of that particular season, I had to make one of the most horrible phone calls I've ever had to make to tell the president of the association that our A-grade team was basically going to forfeit for the whole season. We didn't have enough players to fill the team. So we're down to one team for the whole club, and that was a one-day team. So the guys that were still around wanted to play, including myself, including Beattie and the likes, and God knows what happened, but we played some good cricket and we got to semi-final, we got to the final, and lo and behold, we won it. That's a magic feeling to go from down, really deep down to just a huge high. And I know it was fantastic for the guys, fantastic for me to be part of that, and I know it had a knock-on effect to attract more players into the club, and we're seeing a renaissance now as a direct consequence, I think.
Yeah, well, it is pretty special, obviously. 1-1 in my junior days, which was a long time ago, but then we obviously backed on up in our one-day comp. The Twos have been lucky and got a few more in the last few years, but we're obviously placed well as being on top of the ladder right now, so fingers crossed we can get to that final day of the year and try and bring home another flag for the club.
It wasn't the Premiership game, but a guy called Ernie Whitehead. I recruited him halfway through the season. We played in the semi-final against Doncaster footballers, and he took 8 for 26. And if it hadn't been for him on that day, we wouldn't have made the grand final. And I think he also took about 4 or 5 in the grand final. So he'd be the one for us for that day.
Look at last year's, there's two that come to mind. In the semi-final, Nazar probably played the best all-round performance I've ever seen. Made 100 in the semi, and I think took 4 or 5 weeks, can't remember. And that was probably the best cricketing performance I've ever seen in my life, and got to be a part of it, which was amazing. Without a doubt, single-handedly got us into the grand final. And then from the granny, the man who generally always steps up at the occasion, Raz and Feek, took a fifer in the granny. Again, after they'd put a few runs in the board, looking like they could put on a big trailer, he just absolutely going and clean them up. And we were able to do the rest. It's a couple that spring to mind.
Yeah, well, I'll speak back to the 06-07 Premiership. Was Matt Goodyear making that 100 on the afternoon of day one. And back to the 2010-11 Premiership, probably Ben Colleen. Such a consistent performer in the grand final. He made, I think, 45, then took 3 wickets. So someone we can always rely on.
The first one in 91-92 was a really good team effort. The wickets were shared around, runs were shared around. Only takes a small score of 97 odd, but Mark Lavas came out and went bang, 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 and got us home. And we could just get batting, and that was good team effort. In 98-99, we had a superstar, Noel Marshall. Made 152 not out, I think it was, on the game for us.
Well, I joined, I think, 29 years ago, I worked it out. And we come up as a side from Richmond. And we come up virtually as the second side of the club. And there's players, even today, that I've known for 50 years and still friends with, meeting on here. And it's been a great, we had social side of it was fantastic. After games, we went to somebody's house, had drinks, had eats, stayed up to 1 o'clock in the morning. It was just a great time, and we met so many people, and still so many friends, which has been fantastic.
Learnt to do a lot of things hanging around Burra District Cricket Club and the boys around the club. Everyone looked after each other. It was a great place to be. There was always the stories of the grand finals and all the rest of it. So to play in a couple was fantastic. To captain one was sort of the icing on the cake. But it's always been just a really good place to come and have some fun, play some good cricket, meet some new blokes.
Oh, fantastic memories, great friends, good times. Can't beat it.
Mate, it's just the people, the people around the club, the personalities. I think I've said it before, it's, a group of guys that I wouldn't have probably met in any other walk of life that I'm in. So, I've been around the guys and the good and the silly things that happen. That's what it is.
It's a nice place to be. The people are nice, very friendly. It took me a while to learn that when they sledge you, that means they like you. So apparently I get sledged quite a lot.
Because I grew up at the club, to be honest. I started here as I think it was grade 3, so my juniors career started at Burra District. I left for a couple of years, but they came back to seniors. I thought it was really important to, I grew up heaps here, and giving back to the club by, going through the hard times and then bringing a few of my mates over and trying to rebuild the club is, a priority for me. Hopefully one day when I have kids, I can have my kid play here as well.
Burra District's been it's been terrific for us. As I said, we've only been spending our third year here. As I said, we've been at a few different clubs over the journey. And then Arjit got in touch with us a couple of years ago. I think I got in touch with Nazar and Anton and asked if we wanted to come across. And we did, and we didn't know what to expect. But it's been amazing. The club's welcomed us all. Even though this club's 90 years old and it's got so much history, we straight away felt like we were a part of it. I joined the committee, and a couple of other boys did too, and we were, from day one, club mates feel right at home. And then become mates with the other players at the clubs, and we played the other teams, and it's become like one big family. The support that we get from the club and all the individuals has been terrific. Couldn't imagine playing my cricket anywhere else now.